Hi, welcome. My name's Jeff Rhodes, and I'm going to talk to you today about Copilot for Microsoft 365. So nothing too sophisticated, won't take real long, but some initial thoughts on adding that. So first thing, if you've got your own Microsoft 365 subscription like I do, you've got to go through the admin and it makes you do a separate billing account. At least it did for me. I've got like the small business version and had to add a new billing profile and so forth. But it was all pretty smooth, and I just really had to restart Outlook. And I actually haven't seen it in Outlook yet, but Word, Excel, PowerPoint, it's all showed up. So let me just try a couple things, and hopefully it'll be useful. So first thing is to get to the files that want to be in OneDrive. So let me just go over to OneDrive real quick. And so you'll see I put this Word file out there. So you'll need that. And well, actually, let me go to OneDrive that way, because we're going to need that path in a second. So let me see, I put it right. Should be right up here. There it goes. So let me go ahead and put that in the clipboard, because that's something that's kind of useful. It can be, we've talked about this in Power BI, same kind of thing. If you have an Excel file and you want to find the path, go to Details and then scroll down the details, and then you get this path here. So I'm going to copy that. So we'll have that for a little bit later. But let's first explore with Word. So I've got Word in here. And first, I'm going to just go ahead and open this file and we can summarize from it. One thing that's not working yet for me is to create a new Word document. But let me show you that. So if I come in here and just do a new one, I can say, notice it says draft in Copilot, and so let's just try it. So I can say something like, how would I get started in creating business applications with Microsoft 365, which is basically the copy of my book. Let's see if it can do anything. We'll see if it happens to mention the book or whatever. So I was going to say that it won't really generate the document to start with, but it actually does fine. I'll in a minute show you how to reference a particular document, so we'll do that next. And then you can also open an existing document and summarize it and that kind of stuff. So we'll start with that. So it's generating some content as we go along. So it tells us some kind of nice things. Let's let it, looks like it got about 2 pages in. I didn't really tell it how long, so this isn't the greatest thing. Oh, it looked like it got some unrefined, so let's see. So it's got something to work with. All right, so we can keep it and we can do some stuff. So let's just say like, let's see how many pages it is. So it looks like it's 2 pages. Why don't we say make it 1 page. Notice it didn't put these links in for whatever reason, but let's look. So it's working on it. So it talks about Power Apps, which we expect, Power Automate, Power BI, Developer Program. Oh, and there it actually has some decent links. So that's not bad. And let's just make something silly like I've seen. Make it a poem. You have a goal or a problem to solve. You need a solution that can evolve. You want to use the cloud and be agile, and you want to create something that is worthwhile. Oh, that's actually hilarious. So that's pretty good. I kind of like that. So, but let's can go back to our previous draft. So we won't use that one, but we'll write it less formally. Oops, I want to hit return here instead of doing the thing. So notice it now says a guide for beginners, and it's, let's see if it changes the syntax a little bit. It looks fairly similar so far. So I'd have to really look and compare if it actually did too much with the word choices and things like that. We'll let it finish. There we go. So maybe it was already at that level as well. So anyway, notice that we can keep it, and then that will be the new document that we can start working on. So it made something pretty good for us. So that's number one. Let's do another blank document, and let's reference a file. So in this case, it remembers my most recently used file, so I can just pick that one there. And I didn't really tell it what to do. So let me see if I can say summarize in 2 pages. So this is chapter 1 of my book about creating business applications with Microsoft 365. And what it does is go through and compare doing a particular task in .NET, and then does like HTML and JavaScript. So it's picked that up from the file and shows then how to do it with Power Apps and Power Automate. So far so good. It's kind of picked up some main things that we want to do. We'll go ahead and summarize this in a minute on the actual document. But this one said it should be 2 pages. The original thing's, a bit longer. So it shows how to do it with just Power Apps on its own, Power Apps, Power Automate. And it looks like it's done. So it didn't even use all of the 2 pages, but that was pretty good. So why don't I say something like, add an image to the end based on future technology from Star Trek. Let's see. I might not get that because of copyrights and stuff, but let's see what it can do. Let's go to the end, see if it actually starts putting in an image or not. It's doing something. It's like it's regenerating the whole thing, which is not exactly what I expected. Move that a little bit so it's in our window a little bit better. It really didn't do that, so I may not have had the best prompt. Let's go back to number 1. See where it is. So let me try again. So I'll add an image of new artificial intelligence technology. Let's try that. And one thing I can mention while this is working on it is that it will work with the web versions as well. But I was happy that it did. Right? I like to use the desktop version, so it seemed to be having a problem of adding the images. So I probably just don't have the font right. So I'll go back to number 1, which was basically the same thing as well, but it did a nice summary. So let's go ahead and open the original file. So let's go in and open the one from the book, and let's see how many pages this one is. Kind of keeps moving around a little bit on me. There we go. Let's see how many pages. This is 27 pages, so it's a little bit longer with a bunch of things. Let's do Copilot, and we'll just say summarize this document in 5 bullet points. Alright, well, it's still taking a little bit of time. This is one of the important things about the Copilot is being able to link it to particular documents or Teams channels or whatever. So it's kind of nice. Main ideas, core programming concepts. Oops, it's still working on it. And then it talks about doing it in .NET, HTML, JavaScript, Power Apps, and Power Automate. So for 27 pages, not too bad. And then it gives the references where I can go in and click to the different things and see exactly where. Let's just take one of those and just see. So it goes back to the original one and says, okay, that's where it got that particular there. So I can include more details and so forth. But anyway, get you a quick idea. I don't want this video to be too long. So let's jump over to PowerPoint. So I'm going to do a blank document in PowerPoint. Again, do Copilot. And it gives me a little prompt here. So I'll say create a presentation. And I'm just going to say about creating business applications with Microsoft 365. And I'll say limit it 10 slides. When I was playing with this before the video, it didn't really respect that when I did it, at least when I do it from an existing document. So we'll see if I can get the syntax right. But so let's see if it gives 10 slides or not. And notice this one I didn't tell it, so it's going out to the large language model and just, basically the internet, everything it's learned and building it from there. So let's see how many slides it did. 10, so that was good. Let's look. So it said what are business applications, talks about the Power Platform, Power Apps, Power BI, and Power Automate. Good. Power Apps, Power BI, Power Automate. Talks about some data integration, security, deployment. Okay, it looks pretty good, not too bad. And then I can go over, it talks about go to designer, I can maybe change different looks, but it did a pretty good job, so that was kind of nice. So it gets you started and then you could edit it from there. So let's do another one, and we'll go to Copilot and let's create it from a file. So that's where we can use that path again. So I'm going to say still have that path in there, and this is where I had trouble getting it to say limit the presentation, oops, if I could spell, to 10 slides. And you'll see when I did this before, it still ended up with like 26 slides. And it basically seemed to use all the figures in the app. And so it didn't do what I considered really a great job here. So it's probably me getting smarter on how to do. Let me get this moved in the window a little bit better. So it kind of does a nice job of the outline, but I didn't really think the slides, they pretty much just got all the figures out. But let's give it a shot and see what it does. All right, almost done. It is kind of nice it puts speaker notes in, even though speaker notes were so-so, but let's look. So let's see how many slides it did. Yeah, so same kind of thing. It did 26 slides. So let's just start from the back. So it does some summaries, but again, seems to pick up these figures. So pretty much all of these are figures. So there's probably something about it. If it finds figures in there, it just makes every figure a slide, which could be kind of nice, but there's other content, obviously all the text that it doesn't seem to pick up that well. But like this is a graphic that's not in figures, so it kind of figured out to add that from AI. So it didn't totally do it. Put some core programming concepts and agenda. And let's see. And then if I go over and view like the notes page, and then I go back to normal, let's see if I can get the outline view. There you can see a little bit of the notes. So it goes through, I can go to each one and kind of give some note screen. And then it puts the original content down there, which is kind of nice. So yeah, need some more work on that, but did a pretty good job taking it from a Word document. And probably if I had one that was just text and not a bunch of figures, it would have done a little bit better job. So let's go over to Excel. In Excel, what I found is that you need to open a file that's already got some data. So I'm going to go ahead. This is one from my book where I was really using it to show delegation problems. So it's from my Music Genius app, but it's got this table in here, about 3,500 rows, and it shows the group over here, and then it either has the songs or the albums, and we can, has a link to it or whatever. So let's try that. So I can do Copilot. Notice this one says preview on it, but I can say summarize the data, and I don't really have to say which one because there's only the one sheet, the one table, but I could say table 1, showing the number of songs by group. And then I'll do another one with the number of album references. So for like 3 doors down, I should get, this is alphabetical, but whatever that is, like 7. And then notice what it did. It gave us a little hard to see it here, but gave us a thing, and we can say add to a new sheet. So it doesn't do us for us. So we can say add to the new sheet, and it gives us nice little thing. So the one that I had the most is Rolling Stones. It looks like, and then Styx had the most, and you can see some other ones. And it doesn't actually, let's go see if we can find 3 doors down here. It looks like it's in alphabetical order. So we thought it was something. There it was. So I guess it was 8. I didn't count it right, but it looks like it did it basically right. Did a pivot table for us and then summarized it. And up here, so I can make it bigger if I wanted, something like that. So let's try another one. If I can go back, and I think when I did it, it will tell us. Yeah, it says data show the number of songs by group. Rolling Stones have the most with 37, followed by the Beatles with 36. So let's go ahead and do another one. I'm not quite sure how to get it back. Let's go see if we can. Oh, it's like Copilot's grayed out. Oh, I see. I have to go over to sheet 1. So let's try again. Let's go in and let's say add a visualization. I just say visualize. I'll just say table 1 in this case. By the number of albums per group. Let's try that. Again, 3 doors down should have like 3 albums. Let's see what it said here. There are 29 distinct albums by groups. Bob Dylan and Van Halen each have 16 albums. So let's add it to a new sheet. Same kind of thing. So it looks like somebody I don't have it listed or whatever. So there's some problem with the data. Oh, and it didn't put a graph in for whatever reason. So I probably didn't say it right. So we'll have to play it by ear. But anyway, you can see how it helps us by not having to figure out how to do the chart and so forth ourselves. And we can have it conditionally format rows and so forth. So in any event, I will come back with future videos with more of what we can do in Copilot, but gets us a first start again in Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. And I look forward to talking to you next time. Thanks, everybody.